everyone. Tonight I'm going to be talking about the Oregon Daily Emerald. I want to first point out that I don't work for the Oregon Daily Emerald. I read the Oregon Daily Emerald, but I have never submitted as much as an editorial, been a subject in the story, or in the paper at all, so I bet you're wondering, why on earth would Beth be presenting about the Oregon Daily Emerald? Well, it is because I am taking my capstone class this term called BA 453. So for the degree in business administration, this is a capstone class. This is the big one that you have to do one of your last 2 terms that takes up all of your time. And the reason is because we do a lot of rigorous case studies and we do a lot of deep analysis of business fundamentals, as well as we have a 10-week intensive group project for a client. And our objectives are definitely to treat this client as if it were a real client and provide a demonstrated piece of work in which we actually give them a final product, give them recommendations, have done something significant for them to help them in their business or their livelihood. So this week, or this term, my group project, the other 4 members and I are working on the Oregon Daily Emerald. And we are really addressing the issue that the news is changing. It no longer looks like this old, outdated form. It looks like this. The way that people get news is massive. You can go to CNN.com, you can go to New York Times, you can have blogs, you can have RSS feeds, you can have Twitter, you can get your information everywhere. So what does this mean for the Oregon Daily Emerald as it starts to move into the 21st century? That is our task. That is our goal. They want to know how to reach students and how to move forward into the 21st century. And the reason that my group and I picked this is because we were really interested in, number one, determining who the readers are and what the readers want, as well as really helping them move forward. So it's very obvious that the tide in journalism is turning. You hear every day about how newspapers are closing down. Journalism is changing. The printed newspaper is starting to go out the window for multiple reasons, not only the environmental concerns about wasting that much paper, but also that it's not as accessible. And then newspapers need to modify delivery to stay in business. You see this happening with the New York Times. They have blogs, they have online forums, you can get an email edition sent to you, they Twitter, they have Facebook, but they are just throwing everything out there to see what sticks. They don't have a specific model for it. They haven't done a whole lot of readership surveys to find out how to reach people. So that was our task, is to do a readership survey. And then in this day and age, you can get multiple pieces of information from so many sources, so why would people go to the Oregon Daily Emerald anymore? And the short attention spans of audiences are certainly a problem. So one of the main reasons that we chose to do this is because the Oregon Daily Emerald is a campus institution. It has been around since 1900 continuously, providing campus news, local news, national news, events and entertainment around the community. And it's huge. We need to preserve it. It is an independent news source, still supported by campus funds, about $135,000, I believe, this year for their budget that came from the University of Oregon. They supplement that with advertising as well. But it gives us the much-needed campus news coverage because we don't get that from other sources. And the news is always by the students for the students. And it serves, and more than the campus community, it serves a lot of alumni up in Portland and several different areas around Eugene-Springfield area. So the Oregon Daily Emerald has already responded to the change in readership through an online edition, an email edition. They have a Facebook group, they have a Twitter group, and they have a magazine. Raise your hand if you knew about all of these options. Not surprising. This is what we're finding. Nobody knows about it. So that's one of our very first right out in the open recommendations is please tell people about it. And number 2, we want to be able to tell them at the end of this project where to put their energy and their forces. Do they need to put more into the Facebook? We're finding out not so much. People don't want to use that. Twitter's nice, but they're not updating it enough. So putting more energy there would be good. And shockingly, we're finding out that people really like the print edition. They like to have the newspapers in their hand. So they need to continue with that. So the Oregon Daily Emerald really wants to know how to compete, where the crowd is heading, what the students want, and then how to provide that relevant information in what medium. So that is why we set out to determine the reader profiles, and we did this primarily through a huge survey. You probably received my email. Thank you if you chose to fill it out. It only takes about 5 minutes. I'll plug it several times in here. OregonDailyEmerald.com, just DailyEmerald.com, and then click on the giant banner around that says take the survey. We really wanted to find out what the readers enjoy, what can be changed, because there's a lot of things that we're finding that can be changed to help a lot of different readers. We want to know how the readers want news, again, what medium, and then how to communicate that in an online format as paper becomes more and more outdated. We want to be able to recommend how they can keep the attention of the campus community, especially when you can get information anywhere. So step one was our dig. This is where we interviewed the staff to find out exactly what the focus of a survey is. When you have 5 minutes and about 20 questions to be able to get some meat and offer it and be able to say that this is robust information, when you want that, you can't have a broad focus. We were getting different opinions from different, the general manager and then our contact as to what it is we were getting at. Finally, we decided that we needed to get reader profiles and we needed to find out how they wanted the information. That took us a while to get to that. So we did other background research and looked at other readership surveys, and that helped us quite a bit create our survey. And then we gathered information on how they deliver news. We got all the information out. Then we created the readership survey. They had a 2003 survey that was horrible, so we looked at how to improve that and how to get better information. And then we came up with 30 good questions, and we had to really work to cut that down so that people would actually respond to it again, to keep it under 5 minutes so that we could get responses. And then making sure that each question would work in an analysis, which we're now starting to do, was difficult, and we're glad that we thought that much about it. We had to fight because we needed to get everyone on campus as much as possible. We got the registrar list, we got permission to use it. 3 weeks later, we're still waiting to actually have the registrar list to send it out to everyone on campus, which means that we have been submitting it virally, which is why you might have gotten a couple of the different responses. And we need at least 2,000 responses, and we're at 1,065. So we're doing pretty well, but we need a lot more. So distributing it virally has been taking a lot of work, and it's been frustrating. And then the Oregon Daily Emerald was slow to respond with advertising. We did reader intercept surveys, which is where we just sat down with people and asked them what they thought. And that gave us a lot of really good information as to what to improve. And it told us that people want to learn more about themselves and what's going on campus and see their friends in the newspaper. So next step is where we're at right now, which is to analyze the information, and that is difficult. It's proving difficult. And we're also going to have to be giving them difficult information that they don't want to hear, which is, you guys are boring. Fix it. So that is what we're doing. Please take our survey, go to dailyemerald.com. Click the banner ad. It takes 5 minutes and you can win prizes. Thank you very much for your time.